Hey, everybody, I'm back this week. Miranda held it down last week in a hell of a review, but we're back tag teaming this week for our review for Impact Wrestling on AXS TV. Before we get started, Miranda, how you doing? And thank you so much for last week. Life was a little crazy, but you definitely, I watched it, obviously. I feel like I'm not needed here anymore.
You are.
No,
you absolutely are.
You got the people coming in asking you direct questions. It's like Miranda, this question. I was like, okay, folks.
Hey, you know what?
A lot of love.
You taught me well. So if anything, it's a good sign that you are a good teacher, and a good partner and co-host. So I'm glad that you're back because I don't think this review is the same without you. So I'm really excited to go over what happened on Impact on AXS TV this week with you.
You're too nice. You're too nice. Yes, let's definitely talk about some things. So number one, the first thing I want to talk about is the breaking news of the day, and that's Kimberly officially signed to Impact Wrestling. Now, that is a sigh of relief to me. I had already thought she had signed. The fact that it's now official, I'm happy about that. But it just makes what they can do with her character. And as you can see by tonight's episode, her getting a vignette, her getting ready to start, which looks like a program with Jordynne Grace and then to Deonna Purrazzo. I've already said there was money to be made with Kimberly, who I thought would have won the Impact, the Knockouts gauntlet match at Slammiversary to face Jordynne Grace. So we're still going to get that magic that I kind of was thinking a little bit beforehand. But now also, you got this little triangle dynamic with the three of them, which I'm overly excited for. But like Kimberly officially signing is great news, confirming her spot on that Knockouts division. That's already, spectacular. So without any speculation or she's working per appearances, this is good confirmation moving in the future. But more or less what it does for me is tells me when you officially sign somebody, that means you can officially use them the way you want to. That means that why she might have been the most low-key, underrated Knockouts of all the new signings, that could have been for a reason, because maybe they did not know how much to invest in her. But now, as you can see, they're taking one step forward with her, and that is great to hear. So I'm overly excited for this.
Yeah. Well, last week I had mentioned that her Kimberly's match versus Deonna Purrazzo was one of my favorites of the episode, but the best I've seen Kimberly since she's debuted with Impact. And you're absolutely right. Now it kind of makes sense as to why she may have been more low-key and why some of the other knockouts have been in more predominant storylines over the past few months. Now we're starting to see the pieces come together for Kimberly, and also signaling more of the direction of her character. Maybe still is a little ambiguous, but that's perfect for her because she can play a face and she can do heel work really well. And it seems now they're exploring a little bit more of that heel side and doing some kind of alliance possibly with Deonna Purrazzo, or at least an agreement that if she takes care of Jordynne Grace, then Deonna, should give a title shot to Kimberly. And so there's, a lot, even in the storyline that's recently developed more with Kimberly, that gets me really excited to see her more on TV. So yes. Low key, no more for Kimberly.
Definitely looking forward to seeing where that goes. And also, which was also breaking news for the day, is that in 2 weeks, Impact Wrestling presents Emergence. Now, this is it's not only in 2 weeks, but it is a 2-week event that's happening. I'm guessing this would have been a pay-per-view. First of all, I love the graphics for it. I love the name. And I love this idea. I think they had a lot of success with Rebellion during the 2 weeks. So very interesting to see how this is handled. And we already have a match already confirmed for this, and that's Jordynne Grace getting her rematch with Deonna Purrazzo. This, I think, is going to have a whole different tone, whole different direction here, because I feel like Jordynne kind of worked the baby face with a little bit with aggression with Deonna, who was clearly the heel. I think we're going to get Deonna in her suit, but I think we just get to unleash Jordynne, and I think we're going to get like another classic here. I mean, the first one was absolutely a banger. I think this is going to set a different tone here, and I'm already looking forward to that one.
I think that this is also a sign for Jordan that if she doesn't win this match, she goes back almost maybe to the bottom of the list of the knockouts divisions for a title shot. And now with the roster being as stacked as it is, it truly would be an uphill battle for her to start all over again in her quest to become Impact Women's Champion. So I think it's also, she's going to have to be more aggressive because it will probably be her last opportunity in quite a while for her to get this close to the women's championship. If she doesn't win, she's going to have to battle pretty much every woman on the roster. And that is something I'm sure she does not want to do.
Yeah. So starting off tonight's episode, and again, if this is your first time ever checking out our review, we don't break down every match. We just talk about the things that kind of stood out to us, or rumors and so on that kind of are being shall I say, spoken of within the show and none of that. So just whatever's just the latest hot thing. And I think, definitely starting off the show tonight with Heath and Moose is definitely something that's been definitely trending, because Heath is definitely, as we talked about in our other reviews, is, well, how is Heath going to be used? Are we just going to get Heath Slater in Impact carrying the same story, the same gimmick, whatever it may be? Or will he be repackaged in some sort? So we're keeping a close eye out on how that works. But what's more interesting to me about this match is that working Moose is, I think, a really good decision for anybody newly entering the company. First of all, this match was great. I think it did a lot of storytelling on all different avenues here. It's good to see Heath in the ring getting a legitimate match, so that speaks a lot about what Impact wants to do. Although this match was, the stipulation, if Heath wins, then he gets a contract, he gets a spot. But if he didn't, then who knows? But again, it's creating an underdog story, something that he's been very much used to in WWE. But what I think is interesting here is that I think they're going to fast track a story of what I speak a lot about on my podcast, is about the talent who, at times when they leave a company, how they go out to kind of find themselves and to kind of, work on their craft or rework their gimmick or whatever it may be to ultimately get into the mountaintop, or which they truly feel like they deserve to be in, working their ass off the entire time till they get there. I think we're going to get that story here with Heath, which I'm a fan of, and it's an easy story because it's the American dream, the person who works hard to achieve their goals, who has a family, and it's hits with a lot of adversity, and I think that's what's happening here. So I love how they're keeping Moose at bay, because obviously Moose and EC3 is the money to be made here, but I love a lot of what this match did for the character Heath.
This is the longest match I can remember that I've seen Heath in. Which, that was really the big point for me, was I don't remember, how long it's been that I've seen him in a ring one-on-one with someone for that long. But you're absolutely right. I agree that the match itself was really good quality, and to see Heath actually wrestle, not just in a promo, not just in a skit, not just being funny, not just being kicked out of somewhere, in an actual wrestling ring, puts a different spin on it.
Who is this guy?
Yeah, like who are you? We know the name, we know the guy, but do we know the wrestler? And I agree with what you're saying. Maybe this is the difference, is that we get to see him wrestle as just him too. I mean, we have seen him in tag teams and in trios, but to be just him in a ring, I think, the match he had with Moose was really good. It was magic. And for his first match at Impact, for that to be that good, was very surprising to me. So I am back kind of on board with Heath as far as his role within the company, and even exploring this underdog storyline I'm okay with. But to the point, it has to be different. It has to be something unique that we haven't seen him do before. And maybe if we do get to see him wrestle more, that will be the added bonus to it. And we can see him grow as a performer and as a wrestler. And I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah. And also, I just kind of want to reiterate about what we do on this show. Like, talking storylines is definitely what we're most invested in. So, sometimes the match is the match, but sometimes, the story is the bigger picture here. And I think that with this match here, you got the best of both worlds, because it was a damn good wrestling match, but there's a lot of story to be told here, and definitely for the future. So I'm really, like I said, interested in seeing this whole arc with Heath upon his newly, I can't say signed status, but newly appearance.
Yes, appearance. Appearance basis for him. Yeah. We'll see. And we didn't get any resolution this week, which makes me believe that this is going to continue. He hasn't been told absolutely no yet. So he may, come back next week and try another opportunity to make it as part of the roster.
Yep. I have to just take a quick detour here and talk about Talking Shop Mania.
Yes.
Not a lot of Good Brothers here. I mean, we did get the Good Brothers in a quick, what should I say, vignette? Not a vignette, but a quick backstage.
Yeah, backstage
incident with Ace Austin and Madman Fulton with Big LG getting arrested. Whatever. That was cool and all. But Talking Shop Mania was absolutely nuts. We can literally probably spend another 20 minutes on that. If you haven't seen that, you might want to check it out. It's so good, so crazy.
Hilarious. It's exactly what you think it is. But to me, the fact that it was that honest of a show, and they absolutely knew how silly they were planning to be and wanted to be. I appreciate transparency in my wrestling. They went exactly the way that they wanted it to be. And I just have a whole new appreciation for the Good Brothers.
Yeah, the Good Brothers on commentary is something I never knew I needed, but I probably need that all the time. It's absolutely hilarious. All right. So Eddie Edwards, who is your Impact World Heavyweight Champion, is doing this open challenge thing each and every week. This week he was challenged by Sami Callihan, but beforehand Sami Callihan was attacked by RVD in his twerking.
Right? Oh my God! I'm not gonna lie. That was the most hilarious part of it. Is Katie Forbes twerking right near the head of Sami Callihan as he's getting beat up by Rob Van Dam like that. That's literally like salt on the wound. But twerking on the wound, that's the thing now.
It definitely is. A lot of history between the two of them. Not too much to talk about here. Good solid match, but Eddie Edwards is going to continue to do so. But I am noticing that the intensity of the matches are progressing each and every week. So definitely curious to see how that continues, and who's actually going to continue to step up, because they're definitely drawn to the idea of you never know who it's going to be, and it's not a wise thing. So I'm feeling like they're foreshadowing some type of mistake in the near future. But so the tag match with Chris Bey, Rohit Raju, TJP, and Fallah Bahh. Now, the match is the match. Yeah. What's really interesting here is TJP to me, and Josh Matthews called it and exposed it about TJP just being a team player, wanting to do this tag team thing, whatever. We all know TJP to be one of the best cruiserweights / S division or / S division competitor. And it's only a matter of time. And we got to see glimpses of TJP in one-on-one ability, as we know he can do, but more or less foreshadowing the idea of breaking out of this tag team, in which looks to be an honest way, whatever it may be. But at the same time, Rohit Raju also playing like that. Hey, I got your back. I'm your boy, blah, 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 blah. I'm always there if you need me. Obviously, it's targeting the same X Division Championship as well. So this is putting Chris Bey in this little weird dynamic where enemies are in front of him, but also people are targeting his back as well. Which is interesting, because I love the idea of the X Division Championship being, anybody and everybody wanting to get a piece of it, because that's just how traditionally has always been. But nonetheless, TJP and Chris Bey is something that I am going to need like really, really soon.
Yes.
And I didn't know going into this match that's the direction we were going to go, but I knew after the completion of it, I said, "Oh, scrap all of this." TJP and Chris Bey. This has to happen at Emergence, so we'll have to see where that goes. But I'm really, and TJP picking up the win, which is also really like if he does that in the singles competition. So I'm very, very excited for the possibilities there with that one.
Yeah, I feel like the tag team pairing of TJP and Fallah Bahh has reached its limit. It's gone as far as it's going to go, and it's done. It's been good as far as giving both of them something to do, and still be active on the roster. But ultimately, I agree that there is a path where things divert, and the road for TJP is going to lead towards an X Division Championship match against Chris Bey. I understand where Rohit is coming from, and the strategy behind it. That if he gets close enough to Chris Bey, he'll get close enough to the X Division Championship. But it also seems like it could backfire on him and create this tension between Chris and TJP, which leads to them having a match first and Rohit Raju just being out of the picture. So, I feel like there's a very fine line that Rohit will have to continue to play. But as far as the athleticism and the type of match that we could see between Chris Bey and TJP, absolutely fantastic. And, it could be Chris Bey's first big challenge as X Division champion.
Hey, Miranda, you disappeared there. I just see a floating head.
I knew it was going to happen.
I just mess with you.
It's kind of like in Pee-wee's Playhouse when he had that magic genie that kid had a floating head.
You can't say that. It's just our viewers going to expose us for our age right away. Now, think about what are they talking about?
I don't know. You spread a rumor that I was in my 20s, so that's the rumor we're sticking with.
It's been confirmed. It's been
confirmed. Confirmed.
All right. 3 other things to knock on really quick. Motor City Machine Guns comes out, cuts a hell of a promo. Them and the North, we want more of it. We know that. I really love the storytelling, the history telling of everything that they've done in their careers and coming back. That was so genuine, sincere, just for the North to come out and cut a hell of a promo against them. Emergence is all I'm going to say. The North is still one of the best tag teams in all of wrestling. Motor City Machine Guns is right there as well. So, if this is what we're going to do, then do it. I love the patent, but like I was at some point, I was like, hey, just book the match here, but it's cool.
Just book it. I could see them wrestle all day, really, and this is a perfect spot for the North to be in because they truly did take care of every tag team in the division before the Motor City Machine Guns came back. And for newer fans that aren't aware of the Motor City Machine Guns and their history and their legacy, now they're able to see why they were such a big deal for such a long time. Yep.
Absolutely. Okay. Wrestle House. Because I know this is your favorite. Because I know per last week, this is absolutely favorite. So. Where do I start here? First of all,
where do you start with Wrestle House?
How do they do that to our man Johnny Swinger? A handicap match is completely unjust. And,
it's not.
But to be honest here, I'll just say, outside Johnny Swinger and Taya being 2 of my favorite parts of it. What's his name? Oh, I'm forgetting his name. Hardcore legend. Woo.
Tommy Dreamer.
Thank you. Tommy Dreamer popping in for declaring the matches is golden. He is giving me that whole South Beach vibe with him. The whole the Miami Vice feel.
Yes, with the blazer.
Yeah, I'm digging it. But overall, I'll give it to you. What's your thoughts about this week's episode of Wrestle House?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like it's still carrying on with a lot of the fun storylines. And I do like how the matches are intertwined with that and how the other members of Wrestle House get to be referees. So this week we had Taya as a referee, which, if you want to call it that, like she literally did not want to get her hands dirty.
Did you hear Johnny Swinger compliment her from outside the ring?
Oh,
he was like, that referee is I think he said the referee is attractive or something. He said that's a very attractive referee or something like that.
Oh man. See, that's why the 2-on-1 match, it's like he wanted it and then he ended up regretting it when he lost. So it's still a really funny, lighthearted part of the show. And they are even developing storylines within Wrestle House with Johnny Bravo still and Taya and Rosemary. We have one of the Deaners who's in love with Susie. Kylie Rae still trying to get out of the house because also she's #1 contender. We can't forget about that. So this is something that she can do while she's waiting for her opportunity. And yeah, there's so many little storylines within it that it's a lighthearted way to incorporate humor into the episode. And it's just. To me, it's fun, and that's me. Like I'm a pro wrestling fan for exactly what it is and what it's not, and things like this, just remind me that it can actually be very fun and entertaining, and it does make me want to watch, every week to see kind of just what kind of fun shenanigans, crazy things are going to happen, the next week.
Yeah, I like anything different. Reality TV is obviously a big sensation in all of the world. Wrestling is overly popular. Put the two of them together. I mean, what could go wrong? And again, it's being proactive because it's doing things here. It's different. #1 in a world of wrestling where everyone complains that everything's the same and does the same thing. It's trying something different, but it's also creating storylines. It's also giving people opportunity and screen times that they may not have gotten on a weekly basis. And it's fun. I can never go wrong with anything being fun and positive. So it's definitely cool to me. And I think it's showing a lot of dynamics and a lot of people's characters. Like Kylie Rae, one of the best wrestlers in all the world. And we all know that. And we're seeing her still being able to still be that smiley Kylie character, but also very fierce in the ring. At the drop of a dime. And I think that speaks a lot to her character work. And the Deaners is another one. And Susie is also. So like it's really good. It's fun. I do look forward to it each week. I have got to say though, I really would not be opposed if Madison Rayne wasn't put in the air. I mean, I understand the concept that why she couldn't, but she would be an interesting character in it.
They may have a season 2 of Wrestle House, and I think she'd be fun in there. I also do like how they truly do keep them separated from the rest of the roster. That they're not just blending them in when it's necessary. They truly are isolating them and putting them in their own world. So I appreciate that continuity because, it loses the essence of it if then you start bringing them back into the ring. The fact that they are in true isolation. And really, I mean, Johnny Swinger was built for this. Like this is Johnny Swinger written all over it. He is I would say breakout, but he's already been a breakout star before. This environment is the best thing for him now, especially after he's broken off from Chris Bey. Of course, he's always in some backstage shenanigans and vignettes, but this particular setup with Wrestle House is perfect for him.
You're drinking the water. So the last segment of the night is with Rich Swann. Rich Swann comes out on crutches because he's tapped by Crazy Eric Young, and he makes the announcement that he has to retire. I have got to say easily, Rich Swann, the person and the wrestler, a big fan of. So segments like this is always a head scratcher to me because it's like I get that it's wrestling, so I'm like, it doesn't usually happen like this, So I'm already thinking like, all right, it's just the work. But damn, was this a good retirement speech here? To the point I'm almost convinced. That's what I'm gonna say. But just to get attacked by Eric Young again. But yeah, I gotta say, like the segment was worked really well. Rich Swann really sold it. And those injuries are no joke, no matter how you look at it. They're definitely no joke. But I Rich Swann being an underdog, we've seen that before. I think I'm easily gullible for that type of story with him. But nonetheless, I'm very curious if they're going to go that same route or they're going to try something different, and maybe another level of intensity because he's dealing with crazy Eric Young. But nonetheless, I just loved it. It was just really handled well all around, just to close out the night of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fairly emotional to get that speech. And you always do take those with a bit of salt, a grain of salt, because you never know, what it truly means for someone. In both, real and kind of storyline senses. We've seen people come back from injuries that would never come back. And we've seen people who truly had to retire. Yep. But with what this means for his future, with that final attack from Eric Young, I mean, I foresee him not wanting to go out like this. Yep. He's fought for years and years to get to the point that he's been in his career, and to give it all up, especially based off of someone so maniacal like Eric Young. I just have a feeling that's not the way he wants to go out. And maybe even if it is one last time, that he'll want to fight Eric Young, and maybe Emergence is the place to do it, because ultimately too, we've seen Eric Young, his eyes is on the Impact World Championship. Maybe we don't get that right away. I'm still thinking that's more for Bound for Glory in a few months, but in between we may see him in a match with Rich Swann. But also the level of his injury, who knows if he would be ready. Maybe we do get something a little bit later on. I don't know, but it does keep me, guessing on my feet as to what is next. I just don't foresee this as being the way, especially after what happened at the end, that this is going to be the way that Rich Swann wants to go out. Maybe at first he was okay, but now, it's personal.
Yep, I totally agree. Everybody's listening. Definitely let me know what was your best and favorite parts of tonight's episode. Where do you think this Rich Swann and Crazy Eric Young kind of program is going to work? Where's it going to go? Excuse me. And what are you looking forward to in Emergence? What matches should be made and booked? And are you excited for it? It's a 2-week event starting in 2 weeks, so definitely should be good. I'm definitely looking forward to it. But yeah, that'll do it for the review for the night. I have nothing else. We covered it all, I believe. Yeah.
We covered all of it, we got our Wrestle House talk in. So, hey, that's the review. That's really what this review is about. Everything else is just sugarcoating,
and that's only because Johnny Swinger's on it. And that's what really the show is about. Johnny Swinger.
Yes, that is. Yeah. If anyone has seen this before, that even though this is an Impact on AXS TV review, really the subtitle of this is usually the Johnny Swinger Weekly Review.
Yep. All right, well, signing out as your official swing man of the review. And everybody that loves Miranda, she'll be available for you in the comments. So definitely let her know and ask her all your favorite questions and so on. And do not address me because no one loves me.
No, that's not true. Not true.
I'm just playing, folks.
Yes.
Thank y'all for supporting each week. And we'll be back next week for next week's review.
Yeah.